It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown and community supported. For other fun programming, please check out the albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find fun shows like Putting It Together.
It's a conspiracy!
This is episode 17, The Boy Who Would Be Tyrion King. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything because I'm actually running this one. I'm set up to recording this one, and I'm really can't be held accountable for the travesties that are going to take place. Pro tip: if you're like me, a little prone to disaster, then you have to surround yourself with people who are really good at what they do to keep you in line. So I am really lucky to have my good friend Naomi Carmack joining me for today. And yeah, I'm glad you're here.
I'm just here for some supervision and some, moral support. And my cat's here for you too.
I'm so glad your cat showed up. Yeah.
I know, right?
As always, if you'd like to see which hoaxes will fool the good town folk, then please check out our episode description. Charlie may have cruelly abandoned me for this episode, but we will still be uploading it so you can honor his legacy by taking a good old-fashioned Snoop Dogg in there and seeing what's up. There's always good times to be found. And we are a member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Yay team, yay friends, yay squad, yay network. You can check us out at itsconspiracypodcast.com. Our Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy? That's run by the social media influencer, Scottish Madman. And our Facebook group. And we have a Instagram page, It's a Conspiracy Podcast. That's run by Gorgeous Greg. Our email and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. Righty then, joining the online distance communication time today is, like I said, Naomi Carmack. So this is really cool. She's going to interject as she sees fit and find the humor jokes for the comedy laughs and just kind of put them in wherever they go. Now, Naomi, do you want to introduce yourself and like tell us a little bit about the rich, frothy broth that is Naomi?
Well, I've been here a couple times. I was here once as Greg too. Electric Boogaloo.
That was great.
And then also I do a podcast with Lord Charlie called Learning to Listen, where we listen and dissect albums, good ones, bad ones, whatever. It's fun. And then I have my own podcast called Dope Nostalgia, where I get to talk about and with some of the artists who were famous in the 90s. So that's been really a cool adventure over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. So who are a couple of people that you've talked to that really stick out for you?
Well, Alana Miles was a really cool interview. Biff Naked, Naughty by Nature, LFO. I just did an episode with they were like my first boy band I've had on the show. So nice. It's been really cool.
That's very, very cool. We're going to talk about three things here today. And just let me know if you're familiar with these three things. Okay. So number one, Walpurgis night.
No.
Okay. Number two, what is the Sphinx?
Oh, I've heard of the Sphinx.
You've heard of the Sphinx? Okay. And then number three, 8 fun facts about Leonardo da Vinci.
No, it's all new to me.
Okay. This is all new stuff. All right. So subject number one, Walpurgis night. Now, it turns out that Halloween isn't the only Halloween. There are other Halloweens. There's cold nights, frosty grounds, crunchy leaves, brown grass, witches riding around on broomsticks, and the powers of the supernatural coming to our dimension for one night. Sometimes it's in October, sometimes it's in April, sometimes it's in Germany, and they call it Walpurgis night. Like all of the good things, Walpurgis night has its roots in ancient pagan celebrations. This one comes courtesy of the friendly ginger-haired folks called Vikings, who would ensure fertility for crops and livestock by lighting enormous bonfires and sacrificing whatever they could get their hands on to keep the farm gods happy and feeling fresh. So in his book, Real Ghosts, Restless Spirits, and Haunted Places, author Brad Steiger writes that Walpurgis night has traditionally been replaced as one of the most powerful nights for ghosts, demons, and long-legged beasties. it has an even greater potential for smashing the barriers between seen and unseen worlds. So witches at the time were said to congregate on Brocken in the Harz Mountains to summon Faust in order to create as much chaos as possible before the spring thaw sent the evils back underground. And it's said that if Faust appeared, he would immediately check his shadow. This predicted an ongoing winter or early spring. Does that sound familiar at all? Right?
Oh, I think that's been ripped off.
Yeah. So obviously this has connections to other traditions. And of course, the fabulous Bill Murray movie, The Royal Tenenbaums. I know.
He's a fantastic bartender.
So around 779, a young lady named Valborg. I must acknowledge that the name sounds like she would be like a giant murdering robot. Valborg.
Like a Wahlberg?
Yeah, or like a Wahlberg. Oh my goodness! Like the dancing masked singer. What's his name?
Chicken. Donnie
Wahlberg. Right? Donnie the surprise Wahlberg. So I don't know if there's any relation there. That would be amazing if there was. But this lady Valborg, she founded the convent in Heidenheim in Württemberg, Germany, and she waged a one-woman war against witchcraft and sorcery. For her brave deeds, she was canonized on May 1st. And that happened to be the day that the Vikings were like, they sort of got together to slaughter everyone in a fire for the farm gods. So the good people of Germany weren't sure which one to celebrate. So they kept the massive bonfires. They stopped sacrificing people, and they made it an annual event with a name that just rolls right off the tongue. They named it after Valborg, Valborg's Massoffenten. So that word, easy to say, funner to type, that was shortened to Walpurgis Nacht, which gradually became Walpurgis Night. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Valborg's Massoffenten.
I'm glad they stopped killing humans.
They did. They eventually stopped, which is great. So
this is fact. This actually happened.
This is a thing. This is a real thing. And you can have some fun at Walpurgis Night if you're in Germany right now. Or if somebody local is celebrating it. It's hard to say. Yeah.
Maybe there's a gift shop.
Mm-hmm. And
up in the mountains.
How great is it that Faust would look for his shadow? Like, I love that. Somehow that became a groundhog. That's crazy. That's so good.
Yeah. Right. I wonder if that's adapted from Groundhog Day from that. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like there's some tendrils there. Yeah. Now, what are you? What are we drinking?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Okay, you know that drink that Michael Bublé has been shilling out there on your TVs, that bubbly stuff, Bublé. Mm-hmm. Well, I got a good combo. I drink Bublé, peach Bublé with peach Crown Royal.
Oh,
and so like it's nice because it's not too sweet. The soda kind of takes off the sweetness, and it can get me messed up.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, peach Crown Royal. That sounds like when you throw up, there's like that flavor in your mouth.
Hey, they've made a few flavored Crown Royals now. Mm-hmm. I'm partial to that one, and I like the maple one too.
Yeah,
pour it on your pancakes. Delicious breakfast.
I was at Sea Change yesterday. One of the cool things, they've always got new beers on tap. So this one was called Multiple Entendre, and it's a collaboration with Blind Enthusiasm. And this hop-forward lager is a unique marriage of contemporary and old-world brewing techniques, clean, crisp, and decisively bitter. This unconventional lager combines the timeless flavor of German Pilsner malts with hints of passion fruit, apricot berries, and peach, delivered through a generous dry hopping of Calista. So I don't know what Calista is personally.
Calista sounds like a flower.
It does sound like a pretty little flower. But what I will say about that multiple entendre was that it was really good. It was really hoppy. Right in time for Easter hoppy. It was like real hoppy. So like a double IPA. And I know. Are you a fan of fruit in the beer? I am not crazy about it, but there have been times where I'm like, I'm going to throw a lemon in here. That's about it. Maybe a lime, but I'm not going to put like a big slab of watermelon or anything like that in my, yeah. And there's no peach. Peach is gone. Speaking of conspiracies, my mom used to tell me when I was little that if I swallowed a watermelon seed, it would grow in my belly. So I was terrified of eating watermelon. Cool story, bro. I mean, kids everywhere have probably gone through that one. Mm-hmm.
It's a lie, guys.
It is a lie. We know now. Actually, we should probably talk about that because that's something that I've heard too many times. Or that if you swallow your gum, it's going to stay in your intestines for 7 years or something. No, no, it won't. Anyways, that's going to take us to advertisement number 1.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Bonkink.
I'm Andrew Paul.
And we're the hosts of the Well Endowed Podcast.
The Well Endowed Podcast is produced by Edmonton Community Foundation, or ECF as we call it.
ECF provides grants to charities through the endowment funds we create and manage with our donors.
Hence the title of our show, The Well Endowed Podcast.
Every month, we bring you a collection of stories and interviews with fascinating guests who are working to make Edmonton a strong, vibrant city to live in.
Through these stories, we look at the space where endowments intersect with your communities.
So if you're interested in the people and issues impacting your community, check out thewellendowedpodcast.com.
All right. So we are back. It is subject number 2. What is the Sphinx? So Sphinx, no, we're not talking about that hairless cat that looks like a clump of raw turkey that somebody pulled out of the compost. This is the 4,500-year-old limestone statue located near the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. Super memorable, easy to recognize, and shrouded in the mysteries. So do you know which one I'm talking about now? The big cat man?
Oh, yeah.
With the broken, yeah.
Yeah, I thought his face was broken for sure.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about
his
his sweet broken face and how that may have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So a sphinx is a lion creature with the head of a human in the mythologies of ancient Egyptian and Greek mythology. There are also accounts of it having a snake tail, a scorpion tail, and a large, powerful eagle wings. The mythical beast is often depicted as wearing the headdress of one of the Egyptian pharaohs and is often associated with tomb or temple structures. The Sphinxiest Sphinx, the one with the busted nose in Giza, was likely erected for Pharaoh Khafra. I hope I'm saying that right. Around 2600 BC, Khafra's father had built the Great Pyramid in the area, and his son wanted to live up to his father's legacy. So the statue was likely originally entirely covered in some kind of red paint, and that would have been quite a striking sight, quite a fetching sight between the pyramids, and it fits with the mythos of its ability to resurrect the souls of the dead by channeling the power of the sun, just like in Superman 4, which we have talked about in the past. Oh. You are a Superman 4 defender, and that's fine. The quest for
peace.
Yeah, the quest for peace. That's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Was that the first Superman
Very believable
movie? Was that the first one you saw?
It was the second one. The first one I saw was Superman 2, and I remember being terrified of like the scene where his like chest is like flashing and stuff. Like I think I can't even remember. I just started crying and ran away from the TV. But Superman 4, good stuff.
Okay. You can like what you like. That's okay. I would say that Superman 4 is like the peach crown royal of the Superman movies, but that's fine.
Oh,
Superman 2, on the other hand. Oh, mwah. Now, fun fact, there is a life-size statue of Khafra in the Valley Temple, and it appears that he had the face that the Sphinx was based on. That sounds strange. The face of the Sphinx seems to have been based on the pharaoh Khafra. So he had like a selfie statue made, and it's like, immortalize my face on a lion body with a snake and wings right now. Researchers currently estimate that it would have taken about 100 people 3 full years at least to carve the Sphinx out of a massive single piece of limestone. There is an unfinished section of the Sphinx where there were remains of tools and even someone's lunch that was just abandoned there that was discovered by archaeologists in the 1800s. So somebody left their lunch in there. Yeah.
It's probably egg salad. No one wants to keep that. I forget it too.
Yeah, man. Anyways, why is this thing so famous? Was it the name? That's probably not, as the name Sphinx didn't show up until the Greeks wrote about it about 2,000 years later. So fun fact here, nobody actually knows what the Egyptians would have called it. Did the legacy carry over after Pharaoh Thutmose IV established a Sphinx worshipping cult? That's possible. After all, we still revere cats, and this same culture insisted that cats were a godly animal. We all know that cats have never forgotten
so true.
This. Yeah, they know. They're well aware of this. They're like, I was a god in ancient Egypt. Now, whatever the reason, the stories of the creature stayed alive through generations, even after the pharaohs and their kingdoms fell apart. The Great Sphinx was actually neglected to the point that people forgot it existed, as it was entirely covered in sand for a few hundred years. So after these pharaohs kind of stopped doing their pharaoh thing, and Egypt wasn't really the pharaoh place anymore, the Sphinx somehow got buried in sand and everybody forgot it was there.
Oh.
Yeah. Napoleon did mention the Sphinx, and he actually bragged about his soldiers shooting the nose off in the late 1700s. Yeah, that's wow. But the real catalog discovery was made by Captain Giovanni Battista Caviglia, who made the first attempt to unearth the statue with the help of 160 full-bodied, barrel-chested men. These initial attempts were unsuccessful, and the full body was not excavated until the early 1930s. So
is that true?
Yeah, like 200 years they were trying to dig that thing out. Ironically, in the past 100 years, the Sphinx has aged at a rapidly accelerated rate due to wind, humidity, pollution, and tourist vandalism. So it was fine for hundreds of years. They unearthed it, and now it's just falling apart. Lastly, good heavens, Oedipus. So he was the one who, are you familiar with the story of Oedipus? Bit of a ghastly curse he had put upon him.
No, I am not.
A soothsayer told him, one day you're going to kill your father and sleep with your mother. And so he went out of his way to avoid this. And spoiler, he actually ended up doing both of those things. Pretty nasty.
Oh, okay. Well, so that was like when incest was a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, he didn't want to, but he was like, I think I'm in the clear on this one. I'm just going to kill this guy and whoops. So yeah, it just turns out nasty.
Oh, that's royalty for you.
He came across the Sphinx in his travels. When they met, he was informed that the Sphinx would present him with a riddle. Now, if he'd answered it, he could pass. And if he couldn't answer it, then he would be eaten alive by the Sphinx. So here's the riddle. I'm going to save the answer for later on in the episode. But here's the riddle of the Sphinx. Now, what goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? Do you have any ideas on that one? 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, 3 feet in the evening.
Oh, damn. I got nothing on this one.
I know, totally. Then you would be Sphinx food, my friend. Sphinx food. Now, when we get to the end here, I will share the answer to that. But yeah, so that's what's a Sphinx. Yay. And we're going to go
today.
Oh, Sphinx friends. That's going to take us to ad number 2.
This episode of It's a Conspiracy is brought to you by the Northwest Fest International Documentary Festival, running in cinema from May 6th to the 14th and online from May 5th to the 15th. NWF is thrilled to finally be able to bring the festival back to the Metro Cinema this year with an outstanding lineup of some of the year's best docs and a few fun surprises. This year's festival is a hybrid affair with over 20 films screening at Metro Cinema, including the acclaimed Nick Cave music doc, This Much I Know to Be True, along with dozens of feature and short films screening online. Award-winning filmmaker Alexandre O. Felipe will also be in town to present his filmmaking masterclass. This event will be open to the public, and it is an absolute must for anyone who's ever dreamed of making their own film. Check out the full Northwest Fest film lineup and purchase all access passes or single tickets at northwestfest.ca.
Subject number 3, 8 fun Da Vinci facts.
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Heroes in a house.
All right, now April is Leonardo da Vinci's birth month. So he's not just the leader of the Ninja Turtles. He's a
I was going to say April, she's the girlfriend of all the Ninja Turtles?
April O'Neil. Ho, ho. There's a lot going on there. Wow, I never put that together before. Absolutely right. So you're familiar with the Ninja Turtles, I'm assuming here.
Yes.
Okay.
More so than the artist, yes.
More so than the artist. Yeah. Do you remember the name of the female Ninja Turtle?
No, I didn't know there was a girl.
There was, yeah. She was in one of the series in the Turtleverse. I'm sure it's all been rebooted a few times now. but her name was Venus de Milo, I think, or maybe just Venus.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me look this up really quick here. I'll put a Ninja Turtle. Yeah, and she had a really cool like these fans that she would use to like.
I never knew there was more than just the 4.
There was a lady turtle.
That reminds me of Smurfs when there was another girl besides Smurfette.
What? I never knew that.
Yeah, I think she's like one of the Smurf kids when they had little kids running around later on in the series.
I never knew there were Smurf kids. But here's
she's a good looking Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, she is, right?
Mm-hmm. See her colors here.
Athletic, and she had like a nice blue color. I don't know if I hope that was okay with Leonardo. I guess different hues of blue.
Are you sure this isn't fan fiction?
No, this was
this is real.
This is real. Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure there is some fan fiction with yeah.
We won't go there.
Yeah, let's not go into that. But yeah, so there was a lady turtle as well, which is real fun because girls can be turtles too and ninjas, and that's right. That's absolutely.
Barbie said
right.
We girls can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
So here's Leonardo da Vinci, and here's 8 facts about him. All right, number 1, he was born out of wedlock. Now I hate to think I hate to start things off with a scandal, but yeah, I know that's a little scandal. Leonardo da Vinci was actually the illegitimate sire of Messer Pier Fruosino da Vinci. I'm sure I said some of that right.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah. A wealthy and powerful local lawyer. And then and his mother's name was Caterina, a poor peasant girl. So he was born in a Tuscan village in the near the town of Vinci, and his rural upbringing shaped how he thought about the world. Now, speaking of his rural upbringing, number 2, he didn't actually receive a formal education. So in contrast to other well-known Renaissance artists, he was schooled on the streets and schooled in the sewers by a ninja rat sworn to vengeance. Nice. Number 3, he was a vegetarian. So if you were around him, he'd probably tell you all about this in like minutes.
He created the Beyond Meat burger.
Yeah. And so Da Vinci was all about the vegetables.
That's what that ooze is. That Ninja Turtle ooze.
Oh, gross. I'm glad it was some kind of Beyond Meat sauce and not. I've heard other theories as well on that. Now, he was also a late starter. So somehow, despite becoming eventually one of the most celebrated painters of all time, he actually didn't start the painting until he was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So
it happens.
That's right. Took a little bit of time. He was doing other stuff.
Bloomer.
Number 5, going along with that, he was actually not much of a prolific painter. So he's super famous for paintings like The Last Supper and the Mona Lisa, but he is actually only attributed with about 15 paintings. So not so many.
Well, those paintings didn't suck because they're quite popular. Did you know the Mona Lisa is actually quite small in size?
It's very small. Yeah, I saw it at the Louvre one time and I was amazed at how small it was. Yeah, but it's just this tiny little thing. Number 6, he was persecuted. So he was reported to the police, and not just for being an illegitimate sire. He was also had charges laid against him after it was reported that he had been in a sexual encounter, one that was possibly not consensual, with a 17-year-old boy in Florence. Now, Leonardo, 24 at the time, was eventually cleared of all charges. But right up until he was near the end of his life, he wrote about the allegations and the investigation and the effect that it had on him. So he was a very private person, but he did write extensively about that time he was in trouble with the law. Speaking of his journals, he was left-handed. Man, the scandals.
Okay,
with
that's
this
it.
guy.
That's enough. I'm going to go shop at Ned's Left Emporium.
The Leftorium.
The Leftorium. I'm left-handed.
Are you left-handed? Oh,
I am.
They say that all the geniuses are left-handed, so I appreciate that.
It's basically, it's like being broken. It's fine.
Are you also an illegitimate sire from someone, a peasant girl? Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, good. Okay.
Actually, no. But I have lived in a sewer.
You have lived in a
No.
sewer. Okay.
Nah.
It starts with being left-handed. I think then it's just
Being
so
left-handed rocks, guys. Just saying.
speaking of journaling, Charlie, he runs a dream journal on his MySpace page. Feel free to check that out. But also Leonardo da Vinci did keep a very detailed journal, and it was basically impossible for anyone to read this because as we've mentioned, he was left-handed, and he wrote in the book from right to left. So he started kind of like he would start on the right side of the page, right all the way over to the left, go to the next side. So everything looked kind of backwards. Basically,
Okay, now
you'd have
that's
to-
weird.
Yeah, you'd have to hold it in a mirror to read what was being written here.
But at least
So-
he didn't get that smudge on his left finger that us lefties get when you write from left to right.
The left
You get
smudge.
that pencil smudge. Lefties know what I'm talking about.
Oh no,
The smudge.
I wouldn't know. The world is built for me, so not to just holding up my right hand like I'm some kind of hello.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. That is a very presumptuous statement. Now, he wrote like this because he was very private about his ideas. Some of his most sort of far out there thoughts, like on guns and helicopters and submarines, things that he designed, he was like really, really protective of that because he thought people would think he was crazy. But also he had a lot of theories on animal dissection, which was forbidden by the church at the time. And he also wrote at great length about his relationship with people like the boy in Florence, and then his pupil Salai, which I think is how you say it here. So Salai. Salai.
Mm.
Now, number 8, he never actually gave the Mona Lisa away. Da Vinci was hired to paint the Mona Lisa by wealthy businessman Francesco del Giocondo. And apparently it was to be a gift to his new wife, Lisa. And Da Vinci really liked the painting, and he decided to hold on to it for himself. He also held on to the money that he'd been paid. He was paid for the portrait, and then he just didn't give the portrait or the money back. So he's like, I'm taking your money. You'll never have that painting. Pry it out of my cold, dead hands. Now, upon his death, he gave it to his pupil, Salai. Now, despite the painting being kept by Salai, even in Salai's lifetime, it didn't end up being very highly regarded. And Salai decided to do a version of it with one slight variation in which Mona Lisa was portrayed entirely nude. So here's what it looks like.
Why do they got to make a porn version of everything?
Speaking of fan fiction, right? Like, geez, there she is
cover
there.
that.
Mhm.
I think this is. So where is this on display besides the internet?
Well, it's on the internet now. I couldn't tell you where it's on display. And really, does that look like the same lady to you?
She looks happier.
She looks happier. Okay. Yeah. She looks, I mean, aside from she's got a lot less clothes on, but this kind of looks like a different person to me personally. But
Hashtag free the nipple.
mhm.
There you go.
Yeah, get them out there.
Yeah. I don't think that's the same person. I agree.
Cool background though, eh? Little mountains.
Yeah, Bob Ross painted that part. Happy little mountains.
Now, alternatively, it has been pointed out that Mona Lisa is like the words Mona Lisa is actually an anagram of Mon Soleil, which is how, right? So it's possible that their relationship extended beyond the teacher-pupil dynamic there. So yeah, there could be more to that story. And if it was two guys making paintings for each other and just in love, I think that's a wonderful thing. That's great.
Very
And
cool.
maybe they were just teachers, but maybe they weren't. Who's to say? Well, and that's 8 fun facts about Leonardo da Vinci.
That was very educational, actually.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready then, friends. Thank you so much for swinging by. You probably heard that jabbering child of mine in the background just squawking his damn pie hole the entire time. We will be back with the crew.
Cutie. Jeez.
We'll be back with the crew later in the month for episode 18. And it's crazy to think that we are once again nearing the end of the season. It's been so quick. They say time flies like an arrow and fruit flies like a banana. Now, in the meantime, if you're needing some happy chuckles on your brass knuckles, then slide into our past casts and social media stuff at itsaconspiracypodcast.com. Oh, and I almost forgot. Okay, so what goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? So the answer is a person. A person in the morning, they crawl around on their hands and knees, so like a baby. And then as an adult in the noon of their life, they walk around on 2 feet. And then when they're old in the evening of their life, they walk with a cane on 3 feet. So that was the great, yeah. And if you didn't
No
answer
way
that
in
right,
hell would we get that? Come
know.
on.
and the timing is all
wild.
weird. So both of us, I didn't know that either. And so the Sphinx would eat both of us and everyone we care about because that's what they did. Everybody and everything. Yep.
It's a cat's dream.
Yeah.
That's what they're all about.
Yeah. So thanks again, Naomi. Thank you for joining us. And check out Dope Nostalgia. We'll put a link in the episode description and send everybody your
Sweet.
way. That'd be awesome.
All right. Thanks for having me here again. It's
You bet.
always a good time.
Totally. Okay. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. See you later.
Bye.
Give me 700 Krusty Burgers! You want fries with that?
You did it, Dad. You saved us. I'm proud you're my father.
Oh, wait. Eating.